Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card reading is going to be a reading for creatives. I'm really excited to do this topic because, as many of you know, I myself am a creative. I'm an artist. I produce music. I sing, songwrite, play the piano, DJ. I'm also learning how to mix and master records at the moment, so I really love music. I feel like that's the greatest vehicle to show my soul. And I also think that there's a lot of creatives in the collective who watch my reading, so I'm really excited to see who this resonates with. If you do feel called to just introduce yourself and let me know what your creative modalities are, that would be really cool. I'm just coming back to say, feel free to not only introduce yourself in the comments, but if you wanted to leave your social media handles or where we can find your work, don't be shy, because you may even find some like-minded people in the comments, people you could collaborate with, and I will leave my links as well. Okay, back to the intro. Today's reading is going to be sort of a check-in to see where you're at in your creative journey. You could watch this reading for your journey overall, like just learning and growing as a creative. You could also watch this reading with a specific project in mind, if there's something you're working on right now or something you're thinking of starting and you want some guidance on that. And we're going to get some advice for you as you move forward. What would support your goals? What would hinder your goals? There's gonna be a detailed breakdown of the reading as usual once you choose your group. So I will quit yapping for now and let's take a look at your options. There are 3 readings to choose from today, so I'm going to show you each of these crystals up close one by one. If you do feel drawn to more than one today, I feel like this is definitely one of those readings where you could listen to multiple groups. Like there could be many messages for you today about different projects, for example, or even different creative modalities that you're involved in, like if you're a multidisciplinary person. So yeah, feel free to watch any and all that you feel called to. And without further ado, let's get a close-up look at each of your options. For my group number 1s, we have this butterfly, and I'm not sure what the crystal is. Let me know if you know. For my group number 2s, we have this cloud. This is amethyst. And for my group number 3s, we have this dragon. And once again, I'm not entirely sure what crystal this is, so let me know if you know. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the butterfly, this is going to be your reading. And like I mentioned in the intro, please do let me know if you know what this crystal is. I just remember that it wasn't labeled in the shop, and I asked the staff what it is, and either I don't remember what she told me or she didn't know what it was either. But alas, the identity of this butterfly remains a mystery. Okay, so this is the full breakdown of the reading that we're going to be doing today. We are going to start off with a little energy check using these decks here. And so I'm going to be looking into your unique creative style, your vision, your approach, things like that. So if what I'm describing does sound like you, then that will be your confirmation that you found your group. And we're also going to take a look at where you're at now within your creative journey in general, or maybe within the specific project that you're working on. We are going to see what you're currently doing that supports your creative process or your creative goals. We're also going to see what you're currently doing that could be hindering your goals. We are going to see what needs your focus right now, whether that's your craft itself, the business side of things, networking, the spiritual and personal growth side of things. Of course, it could be multiple things that are asking for your focus. And then we are going to finish off the reading with 2 messages or 2 pieces of advice from any souls of your choice. So maybe you want to hear from your spirit guide. Maybe you want to hear from your own higher self. It could even be the higher self of someone you admire within your creative field, whether they are currently on this earth or not. So that's going to be the reading that we're doing today. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get into it. For the tarot decks today, I am going to be taking reversals. I feel called to do that. And we're going to start by just getting to know you a bit as a creative. So if this sounds like you, then there's a good chance you found your group. Already there's a message coming through about perfectionism, and you need to understand that your unique frequency and the essence of what you're transmitting through your work, like the heart and soul that you put into it, that is going to be the most powerful thing every time. Just one example, like let's say you posted a video. It doesn't matter if the title is not like search engine optimized or whatever the heck. It doesn't matter if you posted it an hour later than what you should have for the algorithm, or like it doesn't matter if there's some weird punctuation. Like I feel like my group number ones, you might be really like, oh no, I should have done this better, or oh no, I did this at the wrong time, or I made a mistake with this. Like it's really okay. I'm also seeing this visual, and I don't know if this is like specific or just an example to illustrate the energy, but it's like you sent an email to someone really important, and then after you hit send, you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to put a comma, or like, oh my gosh, I didn't capitalize that word. Like the whole thing is ruined. And it's like, no, group one, the important thing is the message that you are sending. The important thing is the energy that you were transmitting. That is going to be more powerful than anything technical every time. You may also be, I feel like, yeah, you're the type who is hard on yourself. I'm seeing this example after you've given a performance, after you've given a talk, after you've done an interview. You're coming out of it like, oh my God, I made so many mistakes. And the other party or the other parties did not notice that at all. Like, oh, you made a mistake? I didn't notice. Because it's, okay, I'm hearing because it's not objectively a mistake. It's not like you actually did something wrong, but something maybe wasn't to your personal liking, or it wasn't exactly how you rehearsed it. It wasn't exactly how you want it to be. And so in your mind, that registers as a mistake, but it doesn't register that way to anybody else. And they still are picking up what you're putting down, and they're still catching the vibe of what you were trying to give to them. And that's the most important thing at the end of the day. It's the emotions you give people. It's the message you give people. It's the frequency that you're sharing with people. So I already think there's a big piece of advice coming through for my group number ones of like, focus on the essence. And maybe this is a little bit of a spiritual thing. Like when you are entrusted with something to channel to a collective, you're not going to mess it up with little technical human mistakes. Like the power of that message is just way bigger than that, if that makes sense. I also just looked up and saw 531, which could be significant to someone. Maybe May 31st or May 13th or March 15th. Yeah, could be significant. My group number ones as a creative. What do I need to know about my group ones as we get into this reading? Okay, we have 3 cards. We have the Queen of Pentacles in the upright. We have the Star in reverse. And we have the Lovers in reverse. Okay, I feel like this reading is going to be about your sense of worth. Your sense of worth as a creative, and your sense of my gift is valuable and I can offer something of value, and I can offer something of excellent quality. This reading is going to be about building your confidence in what you're putting out to the world. I'm not going to lie, group number one, the very first thing that ran through my mind when I saw the Queen of Pentacles in the upright is like, oh, my group number ones are going to be rich from their creations. Like this, your creativity will be your profession, will be your full-time job if it's not already. It will, I'm hearing like it will cover for 100% of your financial needs. Like you won't need to have the job on the side that makes the money so that you can do your creative thing as a passion project. Like it's going to be your profession if it's not already. And you know, there's pros and cons to that, but that's just what I'm seeing here. So if you were doubting your ability to turn what you're doing into a living, the Queen of Pentacles says you absolutely can, and you will go quite far with it. In fact, you will become one of the best. You're already on your way to becoming one of the best in your field. I'm also hearing for some of you, if you feel like you're starting on your journey a bit later than others, especially age-wise, if you're like, oh, I'm X years old, I should have succeeded by now, or like I'm only starting to do this at X years of age. Like starting later or blooming later is actually going to work in your favor because you had more time to discover who you are. And you also, I'm hearing you got to have trials and errors and make a lot of mistakes behind the scenes at first. You've kind of done a lot of your learning process and figuring out who you are, and you're already stepping onto the scene as a master. I heard stepping onto the stage as a master. So maybe some of you are literally going to be on a stage. Definitely with the way this wording that it's coming through in, you are going to be a master of your craft. You are already on your way to becoming a master. So that was the very first thing that came through with the Queen of Pentacles, was this message of wealth and mastery. Then when I saw the star in reverse, I was like, oh, your future is bright, but you don't see it. Like you don't believe it. So it was making me think that you're perhaps doubting the worth of what you make and what you can offer. If you are worthy of the success you want. It's like you have these really big dreams and wishes for yourself, but you feel like they're too good to be true. And with the Lovers in reverse, I also think that you may look at others in your field who have become really successful, and you somehow think that they are like fundamentally different from you or fundamentally better than you, or that you're just in such separate worlds. You are them. Like you have the same gifts as them. You have the same drive as them. There may be aspects of divine timing that come into play. There's certain opportunities that are reserved just for others on their journey, and there's certain opportunities that are reserved just for you. But your journey's playing out in different timelines or in different ways does not make them better or worse. Like for example, someone having their big success moment before you it's not inherently better. Or just because someone has a way bigger platform doesn't mean that they're better. So there could be, like with the Lovers in reverse, this could be some negative comparison, or, you know, looking up to people without realizing that your essence is like reflected in them. You are cut from the same cloth. Being in this same creative field, you have a little bit of the same flavor in your soul, if you will. Yeah, cut from the same cloth. That's how I'm hearing it. Maybe some of you work with like clothing or textiles or something. Yeah, there's this feeling of looking around at others who are successful or thriving and maybe wondering, when is my time coming? And maybe sometimes you lose hope. I can say with the Queen of Pentacles that yes, perhaps for some of you, you will be, and I say this with heavy finger quotes, a late bloomer. 1122 as I'm saying that. And I'm saying that with finger quotes because you are always right on time at the end of the day. But I think our society just pressures people to have their whole life made by the time they're like 20 or just like really early on in life. And some people discover their journey in their 30s, 40s, 50s, beyond. That's okay. Earlier is not better, faster is not better. And a lot of the things that maybe you'd perceived as delays in the past or perceived as you being late, you're gonna find that it works in your favor in the end. Okay, so let's see where you're at in your journey. Where are my group number ones at in their journey? We have Venom and Vines. The letter V could be significant. The number 18. Instinct, shedding, survival. This is interesting because the fact that you were drawn to the butterfly, I was wondering if maybe my group number ones were intuitively called to the butterfly because of some transformation that you're going through. And then we have shedding, like this imagery of a snake shedding its skin. So you could be going through a rebranding, rediscovering your identity. Maybe you're in the process of shedding these judgments that you've placed upon yourself. Maybe you are shedding a life that had you in survival mode all the time. I just heard shedding a need to know. There's this energy of, well, I was gonna say perfectionism and a need to control, but at its heart, perfectionism stems from a need to control, right? Like it gives you this illusion of control. Like if I do everything perfectly, then I can control the outcome that people will like me or people will like my work or I will get what I want. It gives you a false sense of control because like we saw or like we heard, the message at the start of the reading was you can be imperfect in your technical human delivery of something and it's still gonna hit hard because of the vibration that it carries energetically. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's gonna do what it's meant to do. In the same way, oh, my left ear is ringing like crazy. In the same way, you could do everything by the book, do everything quote unquote perfectly. And if it's not meant to be, it's not gonna happen. So you're shedding the need to be perfect. You're shedding the need to feel like you're in control. Your creations, and this is kind of woo-woo, but I believe it, creations have a life journey of their own, and I believe they have consciousness and they're gonna go where they wanna go and they're gonna reach whom they wanna reach. What else do my group number ones need to know about where they're at in their journey? Skull Castle, challenges, strength. Both of these cards look a bit challenging and it's giving me the feeling of an uncomfortable transformation. Change is scary. Change is uncomfortable. I also just heard we pray for change until it's time to change. Like I'm seeing someone in their bedroom for some reason praying like, please universe, change my life. Please universe, change my life. And then the universe comes in and it's like, okay, are you ready? Let's do the changes. And then you start kind of panicking. So some of you could be just going through the discomfort of transformation. Some of you could be experiencing a little bit of cold feet when it comes to taking a new direction in your creative life or putting yourself out there in some way. This card, the numbers of these cards are 15 and 18, which is the Devil and the Moon. And there is a lot of fear in those archetypes. Fear of the unknown, The reason you're afraid of the unknown is because you're thinking, what if it's something I can't handle? If I at least know what it is beforehand, then I can prepare for potential challenges. There's gonna be more moments of spontaneity in the near future of your career. There's gonna be more moments of improvisation and winging it, because your guides are really, oh, this is making me emotional. Your guides are really trying to help you let go of control and let your spirit team take the wheel sometimes, and trust, like, when you feel unprepared, we are still prepared. When you feel afraid, we still believe in you. When you get put on the spot, we got you. I bet you, I want to say in the next 3 months, very specific, there's going to be some situation where you're put on the spot or you're made to improvise and you're like, I can't do it. And your spiritual team is like, yes, you can. Like, we're going to help you and it's going to go great. They're trying to lovingly dismantle this illusion. Like, if I prepare hard enough, if I perfect everything hard enough, then I will be worthy. They're trying to help you loosen your grip. This is what it feels like. Also, for some of you, the years like 2015, 16, 17, 18 could be significant to you, but this is what I'm seeing. Also, the colors green and blue. Oh, and I just saw 1818, and we have 18 here. By the way, if you guys like this deck, this is the Oracle of Odd Magic, and the creator, Kat, was so kind to send this to me. Thank you so much, Kat, if you're watching this. So I'm gonna have it linked down below. It's gonna be shipped out in November, but the pre-sales are open now. So feel free to check it out if it's calling to you. And you can also get a 20% discount with the code KINO Tarot. I'm gonna read this Venom and Vines from the guidebook. Keywords: instinct, shedding, survival. I shed to survive, I strike to stay sacred. There's a version of you that's been coiled too long, tense, alert, waiting. Venom and Vines reminds you that instinct is not something to ignore. It's ancient. It's alive in your spine, in your jaw, in the places you clench when something feels off. This card speaks to the moment before transformation, when you've outgrown the skin you're in but haven't shed it. Like the snake, you may be surrounded by things that once nourished you but now feel suffocating. Trust your venom. You don't need to apologize for protecting your peace, setting boundaries, or walking away from what once felt safe. You were not born to be tame. You were born to evolve, no matter how sharp that looks to others. And we also have this journal prompt: what version of myself am I shedding? We need like a really big energetic unclenching. Group number one, we need to just, I feel like your energy is in this really tight ball. We're anxious about, do I have what it takes? Am I good enough? Is what I made good enough? Will I succeed? Will people like it? Will it reach people? What if? And feeling like we need to control everything. It's not your job to control everything, and you can't. I just see this really tight, it's like this really tight ball of yarn that needs to be loosened, or like a ball of roots of a plant that's all compacted with dirt, and the roots need to be loosened so that they can breathe. Your spiritual team, this is like a big like chill from your spiritual team. Like, chill, it's going to be okay, we promise. So with that being said, let's get into the rest of your messages. What are you currently doing that supports your creative process and supports your goals? We have, oh my gosh, we have the Lovers in reverse, so that's a repetition. Oh, and we have the 10 of Cups. Okay, this is like a really specific message for some of you, but if there's like, okay, this is a message for those of you who have like specific individuals that you might compare yourself to. It's those very people who will become like your friends or collaborators or be important people in your life. I'm seeing, and I don't know if you would call this a trope, maybe a trope of like rivals or like someone you felt envious of or someone you compared yourself to, and then you become friends in the end or something like that. That's just for a few of you. Take that if it resonates. But I do find it interesting that the Lovers in reverse is here again. And this is the card that was talking about you maybe feeling like you're not as worthy as some of your peers or not as worthy as some of the people who are already successful. And it kind of does seem odd at first glance that this would appear as a supporting energy, but I think this is your spiritual team actually encouraging you to lean into those emotions. I'm hearing it's not actually about the person. It's something deeper. So if there's a particular person or people or even a particular type of person that you notice tends to affect your self-esteem, go as deep as you can with that feeling, because you'll find it's not actually about the person at all. It's some deeper memory that is being triggered or some deeper insecurity of yours that is being triggered. I remember there was a person who made me feel like this, and when I really sat with that feeling, like I didn't run away from it and I sort of traced it, I followed it back to the root, and it came from my own insecurity that I have a lot of interests. Like, it was like, instead of having just one thing that I'm like, this is it, this is what I'm gonna do with my life, and I'm gonna become a master at this and put all of my eggs in this basket. Instead of having that, I just had all these various things that I like doing. And I felt like jack of all trades, master of none. And I felt disorganized, and I felt I don't have a thing, quote unquote. I don't have my one thing. And so like seeing this person have one thing triggered that insecurity for me, which saying it out loud is silly because having one thing is not inherently better than having many things, but we just want what we can't have. I don't know what it's going to be for you, but rather than just like, for example, rather than just unfollowing the person or avoiding the person, it's not about them. That's what I'm feeling. It's not actually about them. See if you can go deeper with it. Like what is this triggering? What is this reminding you of? Take it a little bit deeper, because that's going to help to free you from it. I also think finding happiness in other areas of your life is going to be really helpful for your creative process. There could be love finding you soon with this 10 of Cups, or maybe you're already in love, but someone that you're in love with, or just your loved ones in general, could be really inspiring for your creative work or really supportive. And I do feel my group number ones, like you may, how do I describe that? Sort of pour a lot of your potential happiness into the success of a creative endeavor as if it's like your everything that's going to make your whole life super happy. And finding happiness and finding a balanced life outside of what you're doing creatively could be really helpful and really grounding, and put less pressure, take a lot of pressure off your need to succeed at a certain level or your need to have specific things work out, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see. What could you be doing that is hindering your creative process or hindering your goals? We have the Nine of Cups. And the Two of Pentacles. Okay, and I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but I do think that my group number ones, your spiritual team is giving you permission to dream big. This is going back to the Star in Reverse message that there is such, I feel like you don't even know. I feel like you don't even realize. And I just saw 2727. That could be significant to someone. There is such a bright and exciting future for you where all of, I feel butterflies in my stomach when I'm saying this. Like, I feel it in my gut too. I really feel like you know this to be true. I know this to be true for you, group number one. That your wildest dreams and deepest desires will come true in your future. In fact, it will be better than what you imagined. And you know this to be true, but I think your mind plays it safe. It's like you know it to be true in your soul, but your mind acts like it doesn't know to play safe. Your mind maybe says it's too good to be true. Maybe even when you're asking your spiritual team for help or when you're manifesting, you might have a tendency of manifesting something that's actually smaller than what you truly want. And I'm hearing something like the size of what you're manifesting should make you feel like a little bit, can I do this? Like just a little bit pushing the boundaries of what your logical mind thinks is possible. Because objectively, you can do a lot more. You can accomplish a lot more. And your spiritual team can do a lot more for you. I just noticed that both of these cats are standing on a box of looks like clementines or oranges or something. And that's not really common in this deck as I'm looking at the other cards. So I don't know, standing on a box, standing on an orange box. It's like really specific imagery, but that could be significant for someone. Yeah, these two cards together give me this feeling of, I would like to have this, but no worries if not. It's fine. I could just take this smaller thing. And for some of you, it may come from, could be related to the worthiness thing for some of you, but I also just think for many of you, it's a too good to be true kind of thing. Or maybe it's being afraid of getting your hopes up. Your spiritual team is working with you to help you loosen up your energy. Okay, I'm seeing a ball of yarn and there's like glitter in the yarn, and the glitter is your gift. But if the ball of yarn is really, really, really tightly balled up, the glitter can't be scattered. So you have to loosen it and let the glitter fall out. It's like you're holding your truest gifts really, really tightly inside of you. Your greatest gifts might be tied to the very parts of you that you're hiding, the very parts of you that you try to dial down. And your spiritual team is like, no, we need a dialing up, honey. You need to dream bigger and you need to dial yourself up. We need more of you. Your guides, I'm seeing them eating cookies, and they're like, there's not enough group one in here. Maybe this is a metaphor for the way you express yourself. Like, turn that dial up even more of your essence. Dream even bigger. Your dreams and your essence are one and the same. Your dreams are a part of you. I even want to say you were born with these dreams. And if you reject these dreams, in a way you are rejecting yourself. I know that's kind of like a very intense thing to say, but But there you go. Voila. Why do I want to say voila? I don't know. But if you reject your dreams, you reject yourself. You and your dreams, you cannot cut them off from you because they're part of your body. Like your energetic body. It would be like severing a part of you. And I would bet my group number ones, if you've tried to ignore your dreams, it doesn't work. You tried to move on, it doesn't work. You can't. How do you walk away from yourself? Wherever you walk, you're taking you with you. You can't like put a piece of you down and walk away. When you walk somewhere, your whole body goes. So your dream's gonna follow you. And your dream's gonna follow you through lifetimes also. Patiently waiting for you to claim its vastness. Patiently waiting for you to claim its miraculous, too good to be true qualities. Okay. Advice for areas of focus for my group number ones at this time. We have the moon in reverse, which there's the number 18 again, and that very much feels like get out of your head. And we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. This is the Page of Wands in reverse. Because the Knave, I always see KN and I think Knight, but Knave is the Page. Getting comfortable with unknowns. Putting a lot more trust in your spiritual team. Like, we're not gonna let you fall. We're not gonna let you mess up. We're right here. We're doing this with you. You're creating with your spiritual team. You guys, it's called a team for a reason. They're not going to abandon you. And I'm also hearing this message of there's goodness in the unknowns. I think we're transitioning from unknown, the concept of unknown being a fearful thing, to it being an exciting thing. Like, I wonder what blessings and surprises are awaiting me in this unknown. The unknown is friendly. The unknown is sweet. There's a lot of good surprises in the unknown. And I'm hearing you're not just anybody. You're definitely not an amateur, but I think you know that, hopefully. You're not a nobody. You're somebody. Know who you are. I just heard something like you're a big shot in the spirit world, which I'm taking that message not literally, because spirit world doesn't really have hierarchies like we do on earth, but just that you have a lot of love and you have a lot of respect in the spirit world. You're a very talented soul, probably an advanced soul, and it's like, what happened? Sorry, I don't mean this like judging, but it's almost like you came into this incarnation and kind of forgot that you're the shit. I think you kind of forgot. I think we need to remind you. I think that's what's happening. Yeah, there's a difference between being in a perpetual state of learning and openness and recognizing that there's always so much you don't know and there's always so much room for improvement. There's a difference between that and being like a complete beginner. And I'm seeing this journey, you're coming full circle where you maybe started off as a beginner and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know anything, and you're insecure about it. Then you become more advanced. And you're like, ha ha ha, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. But then when you become maximum advanced, you get back to the start and you're like, ha ha, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anything. But this time you're happy about it. This time you're excited about it. This time you don't feel like you need to prove yourself. It's like when you're a beginner, you don't know shit and you're insecure about that. When you're a master, you don't know shit and you're like excited about it. And you're humbled by it and you're happy for more opportunities to learn and grow and improve. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone, and you certainly don't need to prove yourself in the spirit world. I can see other souls like, does group one not remember who they are? Like, they're the fucking bomb. Like, they're the shit. What do you mean? Stand up, group one. Sorry. Okay, so finally we're gonna get 2 pieces of advice or 2 messages from any souls of your choosing, whether that's a guide, your own higher self, the higher self of someone you admire. It could be someone who's currently incarnated on Earth. It could be someone who's on the other side. So keep those souls in mind as I'm shuffling. If you prefer, you can also wait to see what messages come out and then kind of feel, who does this feel like? But yeah, if you do have specific souls in mind, we're gonna pull for them. Soul number 1. And soul number 2. Thank you. This is the like titular card of the deck because the deck is Lunalapin. And that's so funny. Some of you could be on the cover of something, or something is being named after you. Maybe you have like a self-titled, you know, when artists, I feel like a lot of artists did that this year. Like they release albums and the album is just like their name. Yeah, self-titled album. You could be doing something like that. Or I feel like the soul really just wants to remind you, like, you are that girl, regardless of your gender. And you really need to know that. As a little personal anecdote, I spent some time visiting Victasia, who's also a tarot reader, but is also a really, I'm so excited for her, a really, really talented musician. And when I was visiting her, I got to meet like some of her friends and collaborators and was hanging out with them for a while. And I was saying goodbye to them because like I was gonna go back to Canada. So it was our last night together. And right before I left, I was saying goodbye to someone and they were just like, you're her. You know, like they wanted me to know that. They wanted me to remember, like, you're her. I was like, I am her. So yeah, this is the message from them. Remember who you are. Remember who the fuck you are. And walk around like you know it. Remember, if you spend more time getting acquainted with your soul, you will know you're the shit. Oh, message from soul number 2 is that they miss you. They feel your absence, which makes me think that the soul coming through here is incarnate. Because, well, I guess the soul in the spirit world could miss you, but probably not. Because you're always existing in the spirit world, right? So if your guides are on the other side and there's still a part of you in the spirit world, you're together and you recognize that, you know that. So this feels like the energy of someone who is incarnate, who is with you in the spirit world but doesn't realize that. And they're missing you, they're feeling your absence. Now, if you were specifically asking about a non-incarnated being, It could be that they just want to talk to you more. I don't think in that case it would be a sadness of like, well, I miss you, but it would be like, hey, it'd be nice if we chat a little bit more. I've been sending you some signs. I don't know if you saw them. Been trying to tell you something. I don't know if you realize that. Like, I'm wanting more of your presence. I'm wanting more of your attention. Okay, that's how I could translate this in a more neutral way. I'm feeling a lack of attention. I want you to pay attention to me. Same thing if it's an incarnated person. It's like they want more of your energy. They want more of your attention. They want more of your presence. And yes, for some of you, it could be that they miss you. I also feel like they're saying, if you focus solely on money and material goals, that does bring emptiness. And I feel like this person is speaking from experience. This is not to say that money isn't important. This is not to say that you won't have those riches. Just that if you put that first before your soul, before your essence, before the true purpose of expressing yourself, which is connection, which is healing, if you put the monetary and material things before that, it will lead to a feeling of emptiness. This person has been there. That's what I'm feeling. And maybe as I'm saying this, it sounds like common sense, but let me tell you, it gets tempting to do that as you progress, especially when you've gotten that first taste of success. This is what they're showing me. You make something that goes viral. You make something that's your huge success, your huge hit. In the moment when you made that, it was from your soul. It's a huge blessing to create something from your soul and have it be so well received. You become full of joy. You're full of this like feeling of accomplishment, and I made it, and oh my gosh, this is so amazing. But as you move on with your life, you evolve, and your soul feels called to make different things. But there's going to be that temptation of, if I keep doing this formula, I'll keep getting the money. If I keep doing this formula the way I did it before, I'll keep getting the validation. I'll keep getting the numbers. Like they're like saying, I know you think it's not going to happen to you, but when you start to get the taste of that success and you see the numbers or you see the sales rolling in, there is that temptation to start ignoring what your soul wants to do and be like, well, let's just do this thing because it was so successful last time. So, and honestly, the piece of advice that I could give from both of these is like, having a rock solid, like really close relationship with your soul and your spiritual team, because then you'll realize I don't have to play these worldly games. I don't have to play these material games. When I'm in collaboration with my soul and my spiritual team, the rules of the material world do not need to apply to me. I don't have to submit to how it works in the real world, whatever the heck that means. Don't lose your connection with your soul and your spiritual team. They will keep you grounded. They will keep you believing in yourself. They will keep you believing in your art or whatever it is you're creating. And I bet whoever this is turning more to spirituality and seeking a connection with their soul. And it does seem like they're missing you, or they're longing for your presence, or they want to hear from you in some way. Yeah. Is there anything else? I feel like Aries energy could be significant, or Aries season could be significant, which is like late March to late April, roughly. Someone within Aries, Sun, Mercury or Venus or rising. I know that's a lot, but someone with Aries in those places could be significant. But anyway, I think those are all the messages for my group number 1. So I'm gonna end the reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you like to find me elsewhere, you can check out my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram. That's also where I share my music. Also, feel free to share what you do and where we can find you in the comments. If you want to look for potential like-minded people, collaborators, the comments are open. And what else do I link? You can check out the memberships where we have extended readings, the extended readings that we do here on this channel. And we also have exclusive full-length pick a card readings. Those will be linked down below, and my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, everyone who appeared in this reading, their higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 2s. So if you guys chose the Amethyst Cloud, this is going to be your reading. So here is the full breakdown of the reading we're doing today. We are going to start off with a little energy check. I am going to be looking into your unique creative style, your vision, your approach, and if this sounds like you, then that will be a strong sign that you have found your group. We're also going to take a look at where you're at right now, whether that be in your creative journey overall, or perhaps it's with regards to a specific project that you're working on at the moment. We are going to see what you're currently doing that supports your creative process and your goals, and what you're currently doing that could be hindering your goals. What needs focus from you right now, whether that's your craft, the business side of things, networking, the spiritual and personal growth side of things. And then we're gonna finish off the reading with 2 messages or 2 pieces of advice from souls of your choice. So perhaps you wanna hear from a spirit guide, maybe you wanna hear from your own higher self, or even the higher self of someone you admire, whether they are currently on this earth or not. So I just saw 222, by the way. So that is the reading that we're going to be doing today. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get started. So I'm going to peek into your energy and see what I can learn about you as a creative. And if you're listening to this part and you're like, yep, that's me, then you have probably found your group. I'm seeing the color red, which I think could translate to, I want to say leadership. That's actually the first thing coming to my mind. Leadership. I am thinking of carnelian, the crystal. I'm also thinking of passion and drive and sort of a no-nonsense energy. I'm hearing, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. I feel like you're not afraid to stand up for yourself. You could be quite particular about your vision, but not in an overthinking or nitpicky kind of way. It just feels more like a certainty, like a conviction of, yes, this is how I want it. And I'm gonna do what it takes to make it this way. And if I can't make it this way, then I'm gonna get better, or I'm gonna find someone who can, but this is how I wanna do it. And if something is not up to your standards, I feel like you're not afraid to speak up. You would make an excellent critic. I'm thinking of like a music critic or like a reviewer. feel like you could give really balanced feedback and just give good criticism, actual constructive criticism. Okay, this is a specific message for some of you, but you may be the type where it's kind of hard to just be a passive enjoyer of what you do because you're thinking about what you would have done differently. So I imagine someone watching a movie or a TV show, and maybe they can't turn off that part of their brain that's critiquing the writing or the direction or the set or the audio or the costumes or the historical accuracy. That like there's a part of you that maybe can't turn off that brain, and you're looking for improvements. Yeah, there's a very grounded and practical energy coming from you, and maybe it's like an earthy Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn situation. The red that I was seeing, that's the color of the root chakra, which is also associated with the element of earth. You could also work with a lot of earth signs, collaborate with earth signs, or maybe there's a particular earth sign person who's like really inspiring to you. You're a very good communicator. I feel like it's very easy to work with you as long as you don't have a huge ego. I'm not saying you, I mean like the what do you call it? The you that means a person. Like, it would be very easy for one to work with you as long as one doesn't have a huge ego because you will not stroke it. I will say that. Like, we're not here to stroke our egos. We're here to make something. We're here to work. Okay. What can I know about group 2's creative energy? We have the Fool in reverse. And we have the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, 9 of Pentacles right away is a sign of financial success and abundance. It can also be a sign of self-employment. So that could definitely be the case for some of you. If you don't already, you may have your own company in the future. There could be a companion animal who's really significant to you, because the 9 of Pentacles, well, we don't see it on these decks, but usually the 9 of Pentacles has a lady with a bird and the Fool has a man with a dog. So, or yeah, you could work with animals, or I don't know, maybe you just have a pet who's saying hi to you through this reading for no particular reason. By the way, guys, it's Yumi's birthday today. Wish her a happy birthday in the comments. She's 14. I'm so proud of her. She's such a lovely baby. Okay, anyway. 9 of Pentacles could definitely be a sign of self-employment. With the Fool card in reverse, there's a couple different ways that I can interpret this. One could be that you're gonna become really successful even without formal training. Okay, yeah, because this could go either way. For some of you, people assume that you have a lot of formal training because of how skilled you are and how strong your vision is, but you might actually not have said formal training. And then for others of you, I feel like you could be underestimated for some reason. Like, people assume that you're not going to be competent. It could be because of, it's like biases. Could be because of education level. It could be because of where you're from. It could be because of how you talk, how you dress, something about your identity, where people tend to, I'm hearing baby you. Like, that might be the case for some of you. Or just kind of talk to you in a patronizing tone, and then it's really embarrassing for them when you get to work and you're like way better than them. Yeah, so could definitely be underestimated in your field. I don't think you take it personally though. I hope not. It's just people being silly. And they probably shut their mouths really quick when they see what you can do. So that if they're underestimating you, it probably doesn't last long. But yeah, it could be people overestimate how much training you've had or how long you've been doing something. I'm thinking of a painter right now for some reason, like someone's looking at your painting and they're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. How many years have you been painting? And you're like, I've been painting for 2 years. And they're like, what? Excuse me? Like you're kind of knocking people's socks off regardless. I feel like your skill level is just insane. And there could be a lot of, you could be one of those creatives who you could have Easter eggs in your work, or there's a little bit of intention behind everything, even if it's just a secret meaning that's personally for you. I feel like you are quite intentional. I'm hearing with your world building your worldview or building your brand. Maybe don't leave a ton up to chance. I just feel like you're very certain about what you want to make. That's coming through a lot. Yeah, I just feel like you could be good in a leader position or a manager position, even if it's just managing yourself. Okay, let's get some oracle cards to see. Okay, something else that's coming through is you would like if your work can spark conversations. You know, whether you like it or you don't like it, if it's getting you talking, that means it had some impact on you. You know, now I'm thinking of songs. Like, if I listen to a song and I'm like, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, that's actually better than if I listen to a song and I'm like, and skip it. That's kind of worse because that means it did nothing to me. Even if you don't like what I made, it did get a reaction out of you, and that's what matters. It's got you thinking. It's got you thinking, it's got you feeling, it's got you talking. I feel like that's maybe one of your big goals, is to just make people think and stir something in another person. You may also feel in some way that what you make is a mirror to people. And I mean, you could kind of say this for anything, but it might be really fascinating for you to see how different people receive your work, because people can receive it and interpret it in wildly different ways, depending on their past experiences and also their level of consciousness. For example, two people can listen to the same reading and get very different things out of it just because of their personal lens and the level of consciousness that they're listening with. And you might notice that a lot with your work. Where are you at in your creative journey? We have the Seeker, initiation, mystery, drive. I feel like you might have a hunger for more right now. I feel like you're in an era where you want to be growing. You're looking for something new. You're looking for something fresh. This card kind of reminds me of the Hanged Man, just the way this person is hanging upside down. It's also the number 21, which is similar to the Hanged Man because the Hanged Man is 12. Those numbers could be significant: 11, 22, 12, 21. Yeah, you want a new challenge and you want something fresh. In your current circumstances, that may not be possible, but you're definitely not sitting around and doing nothing. So a good example of this energy would be, let's say you are having a big thirst to travel right now, but you can't travel because for financial reasons or because of your schedule. It doesn't mean you're just sitting around. You could be actively doing research about your travel destinations. You could be watching videos about different places and seeing what place calls to you. You could be studying the language of the place you want to travel. So even if the thing you want to do is not possible right now, you're still in action. You're still doing what you can where you are right now to get closer to that goal, so that when it does become possible, you can jump on the opportunity right away and be ready. Another example that's coming to my mind is like an audition that you really want to get in, somewhere you really want to get in, and maybe they're not holding auditions right now, but you're definitely practicing for when they do, even if you don't know when that's going to be. You're taking the initiative to prepare for something, even if it may not be visible in your 3D reality yet. And I just heard that's the energy of a winner. A spirit guide just said that to you. That's the energy of a winner. Feels like a dad or a big brother kind of vibe. Also, I was looking at the initials, Initiation Mystery Drive, IMD, and I just thought of IMDb, which is that website where you can look at actors, like what they've appeared in. So some of you could be in film. Dance as well. This person looks like a dancer. What else do we need to know about where group number 2 is at in their journey? Projected bond, longing, and fantasy with the number 42. This is kind of giving the feeling of a muse. And I'm also noticing that 21, how do I say this? 42 is the double of 21. Some of you could be collaborating with another individual. You could be in a duo, whether it's just for one project or you're becoming a unit of 2 people. With 21 doubling to 42, there's this feeling of 2 individuals bringing their 100%, and that makes 200%. There's more you can do with this other person. I want to say co-star. It's giving co-stars, business partners, co-performers. Yeah, it's a duo kind of energy. I'm going to read this one from the guidebook. For those of you who are working with someone else, this sounds like a silly message because it's kind of like, duh, but just remember that they are their own person with their own vision, with their own like creative wants, and with their own plans. Because just with this projection and they're wearing glasses, there could be an energy, or maybe someone's doing this to you, but there could be an energy of, oh, I'm going to collaborate with this person and it's going to be amazing and we're going to bring my vision to life. And then you start working with them and like, obviously they have their own vision and they have their own way of doing things, which, you know, that adds challenge, but it also adds a lot of potential and a lot of fulfillment. Collaborations are awesome, but they can be kind of difficult. So maybe this is saying to not make sure that you're not looking at collaborations through rose-colored glasses, or looking at collaborating with a certain individual through rose-colored glasses. Because there's always going to be some level of differences and not seeing eye to eye and stuff like that. Okay, let's see what the guidebook says. Ooh, it's on page 88. We have 87 and 88. Longing, vision, boundaries. Some bonds are strongest in the silence between the lines. Some connections defy labels. This card reflects a rare kind of bond, one that hovers between deep friendship and something more. There's flirtation here, maybe even love, but both souls know crossing the line would change everything. So instead, you orbit each other in emotional intimacy, keeping the relationship sacred by honoring the boundary. Projected bond is about choosing connection over possession. It's about letting fantasy live in the margins without needing to act on it. This kind of love is brave. It asks you to feel fully without needing to name or claim. You get to keep the magic alive by not consuming it. That tension, the what ifs and almosts, can be its own kind of intimacy, charged with honesty, imagination, and restraint. And then there's a journal prompt. What would I lose and gain by keeping a boundary in a meaningful connection? That is so cool. That's such a cool card. And I could definitely see how if you have a connection like this, it could produce a lot of art. There could be a fantasy that inspires you a lot. Maybe some of you are creating in the genre of fantasy as well, or you're creating a love story. Maybe there's a situation, and this, use your own discernment here, but maybe there's a situation where keeping something as a fantasy, like the fantasy is almost more than what it would be in the reality. I don't know, just take that if it resonates. By the way, if you guys like this deck, this is the Oracle of Odd Magic, which was so kindly sent to me by the creator, Kat. So thank you very much, Kat, if you're watching this. And at the time that this is going up, this deck is actually available for pre-sale. It's gonna be shipped out in November of 2025. So if you do like it, it's gonna be linked down below, and you can get a 20% discount with the code KINO Tarot. I just saw 2121, by the way, so that's like 21, 12, 22, 11. One of those is significant for my group number 2s. Let's move on. We're gonna see what you are currently doing that supports your creative journey and your goals. We have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. This definitely feels like giving something all of your attention. Focusing on one thing, not putting your eggs in a million different baskets. That is going to support your goals. I feel like you're about to finish a project. Because there's a feeling of seeing something through to the very end. We also have the Seven of Swords in reverse. So this is talking about honesty for sure, because the Seven of Swords in the upright gives a feeling of deception or sneakiness. So I feel like you have a lot of honesty and integrity. It could be that you have an ability to be vulnerable that really resonates with your audience, or that will really resonate with your audience. Something about showing behind the scenes or showing things that are less polished will help you resonate with your audience. So not just showing the final performance, but perhaps showing clips of the rehearsal, showing yourself making mistakes. Or I remember there's these DJs on Instagram who are sisters, and you know, they'll post their reels of them performing, but then sometimes they would do, you know, day in the life kind of things. Like, this is what our real life looks like. And then that would just be their everyday, having meetings, organizing things, traveling. They show some of the challenges, some of the difficulties, some of the, you know, kind of less glamorous stuff. And it feels real and relatable. So showing a bit of that unpolished side of yourself could be really, really helpful. If you're already doing that, I'm seeing that that resonates with the audience who is meant to find you. I feel like your brand is probably very, very close to just who you are as a person. I feel like my group number 2s, you don't have a brand that is some wildly different persona than who you are in real life. I feel a lot of authenticity with this Seven of Swords in reverse. You're not afraid to speak your mind. Your realness, yeah, I'm probably a broken record at this point. Your realness is what will really help you. And also, there's something about you being honest with yourself here. If something is not up to your standards. And I was seeing a very specific example of you are looking at a finished product and there's something that you're not happy with. Rather than trying to ignore that gut feeling, because it would be sort of easier in a way to just be like, no, it's fine like this. We've already put so much effort into it. I'm sure it's fine. You honor that gut feeling that says, no, we need to do this over. No, we need to change this. Like, you can't lie to yourself like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, if something's not right, you're going to address it. So honestly, it's just your authenticity and your commitment to that is really supporting you. And commitment to your craft. I feel like you have tunnel vision, and that's a good thing in this case. Is there anything that is hindering you? I also just heard there's still time. So maybe you already know what that means. There's still time. I think for some of you, a deadline is being extended, and that's going to work in your favor. Or if you're thinking about, should I change this before I submit it? Your spiritual team is saying you still have time. I did something like that yesterday. I was like, should I change it? Should I change it? Should I change it? And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to change it. And then I was informed that if I had been any later, it would have been too late. So maybe this is a sign for some of you. It's not too late to make changes before hitting send or before submitting something. All right, what could be hindering you? We have the Page of Cups in reverse. Okay, right away, this is making me think of that message we got with the Fool card in reverse that was saying that you're very intentional with what you do. And maybe that doesn't leave a lot of room for spontaneity and whimsy in your creations. I feel like you need more room to make mistakes, or you need more room to make a mess. Even just, okay, I'm seeing someone who plays an instrument, and to illustrate the energy, this is the difference between, okay, I'm going to do an hour-long session today, and I'm going to practice this piece, and I'm going to focus on these 4 bars because I'm having some trouble with them. It's like going into the session with a distinct length of time and a distinct goal, which is very good and very important. But your spiritual team says, do you also give yourself time of like, I'm just going to sit down with my instrument and play whatever I want with no particular goal. I'm just going to play a little ditty. I'm going to freestyle. And I'm going to be messy with it. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes because I'm just doing it for fun. And if I do it for 5 minutes and I get bored, that's fine. If I end up playing for 3 hours, that's also fine. Like a more spontaneous way of engaging with your craft and a way that is just for fun, because some brilliant ideas will inevitably come out of that. We also have the King of Cups in reverse. What is this? There's this feeling of being, okay. I'm just thinking back to that previous message of you would be an excellent critic, but maybe sometimes it's hard to shut off that part of your brain. Because I feel like you are being encouraged to engage with your craft, whether that's you doing it or you taking in someone else's work, where that critical or judgmental part of your brain is completely shut off. Some of you are being encouraged to heal from the concept of cringe, which means to not be afraid of being quote unquote cringe yourself, to liberate yourself from that, and to also not judge others for being cringe. And to just recognize like, oh, that's a spirit expressing themselves. This is very much easier said than done, by the way, because I think we all have an inner hater. And like, it can be fun to talk shit sometimes, but this feels like a spiritual connection to the essence of creation and just being in awe of creation happening rather than feeling like you need to be a judge of it. And yeah, I feel like that goes with your own work and others' work as well. There could be some preconceived notions or assumptions that you have about certain genres or certain types of creators or certain modalities that are being broken. Yeah. So it's an opening of the mind, a softening of judgments for yourself and others. And I'm also hearing like creativity doesn't always need to have a goal. It doesn't always need to have a clear goal. Like I feel like you're very like, I'm making this with intention and this is the direction I want to take it. And sometimes you can just doodle, you can just freestyle, you can just exist and see what happens, and or don't see what happens, don't see at all. Don't observe, don't perceive, just be. Yeah, I guess it's like to be in your element and see if you can turn off that part of you that is observing what you're doing and judging what you're doing. Very much easier said than done. But that's where some brilliance will happen. That's where some magic will happen. Okay, what needs your focus right now? What needs your focus right now? We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. And we have the Knight of Coins in reverse. It's interesting, there's a lot of reversals. This is the only upright one, the Nine of Pentacles. The Knight of Coins in reverse, again, this feels like getting out of a routine or slowing down or incorporating some level of stillness into your life. Everything, I'm hearing everything has a purpose, even when you don't realize it. This has sort of been a theme in my life recently, because sometimes now I'm taking entire days to, oh my gosh, my ego doesn't like that. I'm taking entire days to read books, reflect, talk to my spiritual team, cuddle with Yumi, take naps, like very much rest and rejuvenation days. And those have a purpose too. Those are enriching too. Those lead to growth and further insights too. The time that you spend away from your craft also makes you better at your craft. So there's this feeling of you don't always have to be doing. You can take long breaks. Maybe some of you at the time that you're watching this, you have been on a long break from your craft. Maybe you haven't shared anything with the world for a while. Maybe you haven't even practiced something in a long time, and that's okay. The long breaks are a part of, this is kind of cheesy, but I'm imagining like your whole life is a work of art. And even if you're taking long breaks from your craft, well, that's just a rest in the piece of music that is your life. And music should have rests in it. There should be some silence. It provides contrast. You don't have to be doing all the time, and you don't have to be going at the same pace all the time. You may have periods of your life that has really fast growth. You may have periods of your life that are really slow growth. Periods that are just maintaining. Maybe sometimes you even go backwards. That's allowed too. Everything is okay. Everything is allowed. And I feel like there's a part of you that maybe resists that. Like I'm saying everything is okay, everything is allowed. And you're like, oh, so we're just doing anything, huh? And it's like, yeah, kind of. I feel like there's a deeper level of freedom that you can access through your creativity, or be in creative energy as more of a free spirit. That there's an invitation to do that. And then the Queen of Wands in reverse. There's Aries energy coming through here, which it was coming through for group 1 as well, interestingly. But Queen of Wands is Aries energy, and then we have the Rams here. That does feel like spontaneity, that does feel like fire, that does feel like passion, but it feels like something that you keep inside. But maybe it's meant to stay inside. Because I'm thinking about this too. The projected bond. There are certain passions that you freely share with the world. There are certain other passions that you keep to yourself. And keeping them to yourself is like keeping a flame covered so it won't get blown out. I feel like, interestingly, these cards are pulling your focus to your life outside of your craft or outside of your work. Resting and nourishing the inner flame, not the flame that you show to everybody, the one that only you see, that's inside of you. Take time for rest and reflection and rejuvenation. Okay, we're gonna get 2 messages for you, or 2 pieces of advice from souls of your choice. So like I mentioned, these could be spirit guides, your higher self. It could be the higher self of someone you admire, whether they are currently incarnated on earth or not. If you do have specific souls in your mind, just keep them in your mind as I'm shuffling. If you prefer, you can also wait for the cards to come out and see, after hearing the message, kind of feel like, who does this feel like to me? Who do I think is talking to me? But if you do have specific souls, keep your intentions set on them. I definitely feel like you have a strong support system on the other side. Your passed on loved ones have never left you. They really want to emphasize the never. I will do no such thing. They're right here. And your passed on loved ones are emphasizing what a sweet soul you are. You have this endearing, and I would say even like an adorable quality to you, and you are adored. Okay, soul number 1, what is your message or your piece of advice? We have the Tower, and soul number 2, the Wheel of Fortune. 2 major arcana and 2 very powerful cards. I actually want to start with, I can see how these go together. There's something you are intuitively preparing for, even if it's not here in the 3D yet. You can feel it coming. That's that inner flame. The inner flame that you don't really show outwardly is psychic as hell, and it can tell you what's coming before it comes. And I think it's telling you of a blessing that's arriving, or an opportunity that's arriving. Because again, there's this feeling of like you're preparing for it right now actively, even though there's no quote unquote 3D proof that this thing is happening. It's like writing a cover letter for a company, even though the company didn't even announce that they're hiring. You're just like, yeah, but I know they're going to. It's that kind of feeling. You could be creating something, you could be compiling something, you could be refining something, practicing, because you just know like the opportunity is going to come, the opportunity is going to come. And soul number 2 is saying, yes, it is. And when it comes, you're going to be ready, and you're going to go for it right away. Soul number 1 is saying, make sure you go for it right away, because this moment that's arriving is your moment, and it's highly energetically charged. There, for some of you, there's a major astrological transit that's going to be really supercharging you and making sure that your voice gets heard, or making sure that your gift gets seen, making sure that your message reaches the intended recipient. Okay. Is that a physical message, or is that like a telepathic message? I don't know. There's some supercharged energy that if you make a move, like when that door opens, you run into that door and everything is going to work in your favor. There will be other chances in the future, but this one is particularly supercharged. So these souls are saying, take advantage of that opportunity. And you already know on a soul level, that's why you're preparing for it already. You know it's coming. The Tower, maybe it's kind of a scary message, but I feel like this soul is saying, you never know when it's all gonna end. You never know when it's all gonna go away. Maybe this is like a life is short kind of thing. You just never know. And there is really a seize the day, seize the moment kind of vibe with these. The door may be closed right now and that's out of your control, but just be sure that when the door does open, you're standing right there and you're ready for it. Like be waiting outside for when your ride is here, because it's coming. You can hear it coming from miles away. And you're starting to pack your stuff. I don't know. Let me know if you've been like intuitively feeling there's a big shift coming, because I feel like these souls are confirming that to you. Okay, so this is everything for my group number 2s. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And yeah, feel free to introduce yourself in the comments, and if you want to share anything about what you do, where we can find you. I'm going to have my stuff linked down below, as I always do. You can check out my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, which is where I share my music, the memberships where you can watch the extended readings that we do here on this channel. You can also watch exclusive full-length pick a card readings, so I'll have that linked down below, and my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, everyone who appeared in this reading, their higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number 3s. So if you guys chose the dragon, this is going to be a reading. Like I mentioned in the intro, let me know if you know what this crystal is. It looks kind of jaspery to me, but I'm not entirely sure. So any help identifying this beautiful dragon would be appreciated. Anyway, here is the breakdown of the reading we're gonna do today. We are gonna start off with a little energy check where I'm gonna look into your unique creative style, your vision, your approach, and if what I'm describing does sound like you, then that will be your sign that you have found your group. I'm also gonna take a look at where you're at now, whether that's in your creative journey overall or with regards to a specific project that you're working on. We are going to see what you're currently doing that supports your creative process and your goals, and what you're currently doing that may be hindering your goals. what needs your focus right now, whether that's your craft itself, the business side of things, networking, the spiritual and personal growth side of things. Of course, it could be several of these. And then we're going to finish off the reading with 2 messages or pieces of advice from souls of your choice. So you may want to hear from a spirit guide, you may want to hear from your own higher self. It could even be the higher self of someone you admire, whether they are currently on this earth or not. But that is how our reading is going to go today. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get into it. So we are going to start by taking a peek into the world of group number 3, the wonderful world of group number 3. Let's see what you are like as a creative. And if this sounds like you, then you have found your group. Woo, okay, so we have the 10 of Swords in reverse, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. This came out for group number 1 as well. So if you felt drawn to group number 1, there may be a message there for you, or perhaps you're coming here from group number 1. When I see this 10 of Swords in reverse, this is a pretty specific message. So I think you'll know pretty early on if this group is for you. I feel like you've either not been in your creative energy for a long time, or even if you have been creating, it's just kind of like going through the motions. It's like you're not really inspired by what you're doing, or, you know, you try to sit down and work on something and the ideas just aren't really coming. Maybe it's been a while since you've really had confidence in your abilities. Something else that I'm seeing is that for some of you, your creativity has actually been your job for a while now, and you may be dealing with that phenomenon where when it becomes your job, you can kind of lose the passion and excitement because it can become like a chore, or you lose some freedoms because you have to be meeting other people's expectations. And it feels like it's maybe only recently that you're starting to feel either motivated to create again, if you haven't in a long time, or only recently that you're starting to feel that inspiration coming back, or starting to feel like a passion coming up in you again. Something about the 10 of Swords in reverse, it feels like a recovery after a difficult period. I'm also looking at the broken heart in the middle of this card. Some of you could have literally gone through a heartbreak that made you not want to create for a long time, or you maybe went through a situation that was quite disappointing in your creative journey, like a rejection or something not turning out how you'd hoped, and it just kind of killed your motivation for a while. Whatever the case may be, if this is your group, I feel like you haven't really felt yourself, or you haven't really felt rooted in your true creative identity in a long time. And it's just recently that you're starting to feel your essence come back. You're starting to feel like, I'm hearing like, I still got it. I still got it. I've still got my magic. There's still more for me to create. This is actually the beginning of a new creative era for me. It's not the end. The 10 of Swords in reverse is very like, it's not over. I'm excited for you. I actually don't feel called to interpret the Queen of Pentacles yet, which is interesting. This isn't the traditional meaning of the Queen of Pentacles, but somehow in this reading, it just feels like a calming presence that lets you know everything is going to be okay. That could be your own self, like your soul, someone in your life, a spirit guide. It's just a presence. And that's so funny because usually like the Queen of Pentacles, I would interpret it in a very concrete way. because it's pentacles, it's the earth element, it's like tangible. But here it just feels like a presence, like a vague presence, a vague feeling that everything's gonna be okay, that it maybe hasn't materialized yet. What? A presence that hasn't materialized yet. Like a soulmate coming into your life who's not here yet, but they let you know from the spirit world that everything's gonna be okay. This is weirdly specific, but for some of you it could be like your future children, like a spirit baby who's letting you know everything's gonna be okay. That's so interesting. I usually don't interpret Queen or Pentacles in general as this like wispy spiritual presence, but there's a first time for everything. Maybe, you're gonna find out soon that the loving and comforting presence is a whole person that you were feeling before even meeting them. Yeah, it's like a soulmate or a future collaborator or a soul family member whose presence was with you before you even met. And you might not even know yet that it's a real person. Well, and by real, I mean incarnated and physical. Like this spirit guide was actually a human that you've yet to meet. Very interesting and specific messages for my group number 3. So you probably could already tell if this is your group. But let's see. I want to know more about your unique style and your unique vision. Straw Bunny, savor simple magic. Oh, there's definitely like a very sweet and a very fun collaboration coming up for you. For some of you, there's a new relationship entering your life, and that's going to bring sweetness back to your life in general and make you want to create again or make creating fun again. I also feel like you're entering into a period of exponential growth, like fast growth. I think it's time for you to do something that you want to do. I'm just getting the feeling that your gifts have been used for others, which is beautiful. But you know, like if you're creative for your job, then you have to meet the demands of the client, or you have to meet the demands of your boss, or you have to compromise because your team members have a different vision. And I feel like your vision gets drowned out frequently, and because you're the one who can be the bigger person. That's annoying for you. Because what I'm picking up for you is that you have this level of maturity to you that you're like, okay, like I'm not gonna start complaining. I'm not gonna start arguing with you about it. You know, like if the client wants it this way, the client wants it this way. If the boss wants it this way, the boss wants it this way. Okay. There's this feeling of just like swallowing your selfishness. That's an interesting way of putting it. And just like, okay, I will compromise for you. And it's lovely that you have that trait. Don't get me wrong. You could have some Libra placements, or that could just be a personality that you've taken on. But I feel like it's time to explore your own unique flavor and let it speak for itself. I don't know if you're necessarily gonna start injecting that into your current work or into your current team, or just make more time separately for your own stuff, but I feel like your own stuff deserves to be made. It's important that you can create in a way that is not, I actually want to say contaminated, oops, but that's not contaminated by outside forces. I feel like annoyed and frustrated, group number 3. I feel frustrated for you because having other people's energy in your work can be a beautiful thing when it comes from a place of being inspired by them, being influenced by them. But in some way, this feels imposing. It's like other people's demands being imposed onto your work. And I'm also feeling a bit of a boring energy. I don't want to diss anyone, but it's like, if you have the capacity to make freaking masterpieces and then you're going into work every day and your boss is like, I'm gonna need 30 stick figures by 5 p.m. Can you draw me another stick figure? No, make it more boring. Like there's something cookie cutter that you're having to do. Or like, I don't know if like you have clients or an audience, but it's like they're asking for the same thing every time, or not really letting you flex your creative muscles, not really letting you be unique. And I feel like you need an opportunity to do that, because the way you create it's complex, it's interesting, it's deeply intuitive. You definitely have the capacity of channeling when you create and making things that are kind of out of the box. It's interesting because like I feel like they're catchy but also out of the box. By catchy, I just mean like it sticks with you. And whatever setting you're in or whatever job you're in, I feel like it tends to smooth out those complexities and smooth out those rough edges. And part of you, I mean, your essence is still there, but it's inhibited. And I think that this next era is calling for your uninhibited expression. Rabbits is making me think of fertility. You could be connecting to your sexuality or like some kind of sexual energy too. I'm just thinking of, I have my tea leaf cards, the round ones that I use in the monthly readings. Well, a lot of readers use them, but the rabbit card says something about like sexual matters. So when I see the rabbits here, I make that association. The year 2020, when was the year of the rabbit last time? I think it was 2023. 2023 could be a significant year for some of you. Or just someone born in the year of the rabbit. What else can we know about your essence or what your soul is wanting right now? I heard the word numb, like numbness. We've been talking about you going through a difficult period, maybe struggling to create, feeling bored, and there's certain feelings of numbness. I feel like when you can't create and express yourself, you kind of have to numb yourself, or maybe something happened in your life that made you feel numb for a while. And I'm seeing this energy of when you start to feel like you're in touch with your magic again, you will be able to transmute this experience. How do I describe that? Let's say there was a period of 1 year that you felt uninspired or that you felt numb or that things were difficult. And after that 1 year, you start to feel your spark coming back. They're saying, your guides are saying that 1 year is not a throwaway, that you can actually go back and retroactively, okay, I need to draw this, I'm sorry. So there's like, this is like all your magic, okay? So in this example, in this year-long period where you felt numb, it wasn't actually that your magic wasn't there. It was just like covered by a board of some kind. You couldn't access it. And now you're here and it's gone and you can bathe in your magic again. You can like go back and harvest your magic from the past because you were still generating your magic in the past. You just couldn't access it. So maybe this is a message about like transmuting the period of numbness, maybe a period of despair that you went through, like transmuting that into fire, transmuting that into emotion, transmuting that into something you can use. I think what your guides really want you to know is that no time was lost. Like some of you maybe went through a depression or went through a dry spell with your creativity, and all of that will be transmuted and all of that will be put into your work. Yes, I want my group number 3s to release inhibitions for sure. Let's get one more for you from this deck. We have the Trickster, we have another Rabbit. Pay attention to rabbits. They are a sign for you. I actually have a little carnelian rabbit here. I'll just place him right here. Let's read this one from the guidebook. Mischief. Mischief, play, and subversive wisdom. Laugh the lock open. The trickster shows up when life needs a little shaking up. Wearing a tutu and wielding a grin, this magical bunny isn't here to ruin anything, but it is here to stir the pot. If things have felt too heavy, too structured, or too predictable, this card is your permission to laugh, play, and experiment. Trickster energy brings surprise, spontaneity, and often a strange kind of clarity when we least expect it. This isn't about being reckless, it's about letting yourself loosen the grip. Sometimes the truth slips in through the side door while you're too busy giggling to brace for it. Let mischief lighten what's felt too serious. Let play point you towards something real. And then we have a journal prompt as well. Where in my life am I taking things a little too seriously? And what small act of play or harmless mischief might help me breathe again? So this is definitely about getting back into an energy of fun with your creativity rather than it feeling like monotonous or feeling like a chore. And it's funny, when the rabbits came out again, I heard in my head like silly rabbit tricks are for kids. So you may be reconnecting with your inner child and doing things that your inner critic would deem as like immature or childish or silly. Like I'm thinking of when Squidward is playing with the reef blower and having the time of his life, even though it's like such a childish thing to do. Or you could just be revisiting a younger version of yourself and how you expressed yourself in that time, or the type of art you like to consume at that time, sort of going down the nostalgic route and regaining passion from there. I think you're definitely having sort of a rebirth or a renaissance era. Like you are back. You are back with a vengeance. And I really do feel someone is coming into your life. Someone is coming, knocking at your door to remind you that life can be fun and life can be lighthearted. And life can be sweet like a little strawberry, like a little straw bunny. Yeah, and it does feel for a lot of you like it's a romantic or sexual connection, but it doesn't have to be. But I'm just putting that out there. I feel like Sag and Capricorn energy could be significant, or the months of December and January could be significant. Should I take all of these? Sure. I'm pulling these cards to see what is helping you in your creative journey, and I meant to pull 2. wanted to pull 2, but you got 4. So clearly there's a lot of helping, a lot of supportive energies around you right now. By the way, guys, if you like this oracle deck, this is the Oracle of Odd Magic, which was so kindly sent to me by the creator, Kat. So if you're watching this, Kat, thank you so much. It is officially going on sale in November, but it's available for pre-sale right now at the time that this is going up. So if you are interested in it, I will put the link down below, and you can get a 20% discount with the code KINO Tarot. Anyway, let's take a look at your cards and see what is supporting you right now in your creative journey. We have Strength, Judgment, Page of Pentacles, and the 3 of Wands. Holy crap, and they're all in the upright. Oh my goodness. All right, yeah. There's definitely someone who's been helping you out in spirit. You guys might know, like if you're a frequent watcher of my readings, and thank you if you are, that for me, Strength, personally, it's like a soul mate, a soul bestie, a soul family member who is with you through thick and thin, who is always with you in spirit. And so that theme has definitely been here. Your soul bestie, even if they're not materialized in the 3D yet, has been sending you love and encouragement to get through this sort of dry spell or through this difficult period, reminding you to believe in yourself. And they're definitely appearing. They're, what's the word I'm thinking of? Apparating? Seems like they're appearing out of thin air. So they're kind of making a sudden entrance into your life with a bit of a playful energy. You don't need to go looking for them because they will find you. And they're approaching you with some sort of urgency. I don't know, they feel like they gotta approach you, they gotta tell you something, they've gotta make themselves known to you, and they feel like it's kind of urgent for some reason. Maybe they're just really anxious to meet you and anxious to connect with you. Some of you could also have a secret admirer. Take that if it resonates, but I feel kind of a secret admirer energy. There's a lot in the spiritual realm that supports your creative goals. I think you are highly favored by some very powerful spirits, and you also have a really, really strong soul family. Like, you're really tight and you help each other greatly throughout your lifetimes, and they're always lifting you up, and leaning into support in general is going to help you in your creative goals. But I feel like this is less about people helping you concretely with your craft, because honestly, you don't need that. Like, you know what the heck you're doing, group number 3. You know what you're doing. And I feel like this period of your journey is about seeing what you can do independently. I feel like the support that we're seeing here is more like moral support, emotional support, spiritual support, the type of support that gets you through hard times, and really leaning on that, opening yourself up to that spiritual and divine support. And like I said before, I feel like any hard times that you've been through, you will be able to transmute that into beauty in some way, transmute that into art, or take that energy and use it as fuel in your craft. We have Judgment. This talks about a resurrection, a rebirth. Definitely, you're going through some kind of creative renaissance. You may be having deja vu a lot. Maybe this is already happening. In the next month or in the past month, there's going to be a lot of deja vu. Like, wait, I think I've been here before. Wait, I think I know this person. I think I've heard this voice before. I've heard this song before. I've read these words before. Like, it feels kind of eerie. And I'm hearing when you're experiencing deja vu, it's because you're at some very important checkpoint in your life that you already saw a simulation of before your incarnation. Like, you kind of got to play it out before you came to this earth. So you kind of know what to look out for. You're probably going to start to see a lot more signs and synchronicities if you aren't already. Archangel Gabriel could be significant to you. The Judgment card is associated with him and the element of fire. We were talking about Sag energy, but there's Leo energy here as well. So maybe just fire in general. Aries, Leo, Sag. And I feel like I've mentioned Aries in everyone's reading so far, but I promise I'm not just being biased because I'm an Aries. Like I'm really feeling the Aries energy. Well, at the time that I'm filming this, Saturn is in Aries. Actually, it might be retrograding in Pisces right now. But anyway, Saturn and Neptune are going to be in Aries soon enough, and that's going to affect all of us with them being outer planets. So maybe that's why the Aries energy is strong. I actually think you can use the past, especially using a time in the past where you felt the most alive and where you felt the most yourself. That energy is always available to you. It's like a candle that's always lit that you can always come back to. Maybe it was your teen years. Maybe it was your early 20s. Maybe it was your 30s. I don't know. I don't know how old you are. I don't know what period of your life you felt the most alive and the most inspired. But just because that time passed, it doesn't mean that the inspiration is gone. There's something about like your heart not adhering to physical time, because your heart isn't just a physical thing. I was talking about this in another reading recently. Like you have your physical heart, obviously. You also have your energetic heart, which exists regardless of time and space. And anything that has touched your heart in this lifetime, anything that has moved your heart, no matter how long ago it was, or something that's going to move your heart in the future, that's already in your heart. Your heart can transcend time, and you can use that to your advantage. You can be inspired by past loves. You can be inspired by future loves, by past versions of you, by future versions of you. It's all here now. Some exercises where you're kind of bending time could help you with your creative practice, where you sort of put yourself in the consciousness of your future self, or the consciousness of a past version of you. It could even be a parallel version of you. You can put yourself in the consciousness of a soulmate, a soul family member. You can definitely blend your energies together like that. You may channel messages from them through your creations. They maybe help you channel works. I feel like no matter where you may be scattered across this earth, you're very much together in the spirit world and creating together all the time. It's like it's a group effort. I'm hearing like you might as well put them in the credits because you are truly working together. And maybe that's why your human self tends to gravitate toward these like working in groups dynamics. But you have to be discerning, because some groups and some dynamics really do iron out your complexities and what makes you interesting. I'm hearing something about rough around the edges, like your creative style is rough around the edges. It may not be super polished. It may not be like the quote unquote industry standard, but that's where the magic is. And it's so, because like industry standard is arbitrary, right? It's made up by people, but art is not of people, it's of souls. So, and the industry standard changes throughout time. There's no objective right answer, but then it becomes the quote unquote correct way to do stuff. And I feel like when your soul creates, they color outside of those lines, and then you have to like erase the stuff that went outside the lines. And then like the magic is just, it's there, but it's like flattened. I'm like seeing something that's jaggedy and rough and like sharp, but it's like exciting. That's what you make. And I'm seeing colors like black and silver, which I don't know, it makes me think of like avant-garde somehow. Or even like you're channeling something ancient or channeling something from another world. This is kind of woo-woo, but you may channel from non-earthly places when you're creating. And so it's a bit weird. It's a bit not standard. And you can make things that are normal, quote unquote normal. You can. But I wonder if that's kind of like to your detriment, that you can mask yourself as like generic if you have to, like for work reasons or to meet someone else's expectations. I don't know, it's helped you survive clearly, but then there's like this part of you that's crying out to be weird, to be heard with all your rough edges. We have, oh, they came out in this order. We have the Page of Pentacles and we have the Three of Wands. Picking up something new is going to help you with your creative goals. So learning a new skill, and yes, this is something new. Learning a new skill, learning a new discipline. For some of you, this is even like changing your equipment, getting new software, a new computer, a new amp, I'm hearing, okay, new speakers, new tools, just something new and unfamiliar that's going to require a learning curve, a learning period. For some of you, this could be starting a new job. It does feel like you're doing the same thing creatively, but you may be going to a new workplace, or yeah, because you're broadening your horizons. Some of you may work for an international company or collaborate with an international company, whether you are actually moving overseas or you could be working with them remotely. But you gotta go somewhere where there's like more open-mindedness, bigger-minded people who are not so... Okay, some of you work for a company where your job is to be creative, but your boss is not a creative person. Like, they don't get it. They don't understand the creative's perspective or the artist's perspective. They just understand company, money, business. Like, and yes, you need some business-minded people, obviously, but it's like what they expect from you or what they ask of you feels out of touch. It's like, how you gonna tell me how to do what I do? Like, you don't do it. You know? Like, I don't know. I feel like you need people who are more like-minded like you, who have that creative spirit, because, and you would think that people in creative fields have the creative spirit, but they don't always. Sometimes they're just business-minded. Sometimes they're just like, let's pump out as much as we can. Let's do more of the same thing. Let's keep repeating this formula. And I feel like at this point, your soul wants to explore. If you've been feeling a travel bug or being drawn to another, like a country, another culture, another part of the world, that's going to help you with your creativity too. And there's something new that you're obtaining, like a new, I don't know, new equipment, new tools, new supplies, new softwares. And maybe that comes from another country. Maybe like I'm seeing like something obscure that comes from another country that not a lot of people know about, you know? So maybe it's not an iPhone or a Samsung, whatever, but you're getting some like random phone that's made in another country that most people haven't heard of, but it's like, it functions really well, you know? I don't know. That's really weirdly specific, so that's probably just for like one person, but anyway, let's see if there's anything hindering you right now. The Chariot in reverse. Why am I thinking of lockdown? Which obviously that was, you know, a few years ago, but lockdown could have really affected, like you maybe took a mental health hit from that, or your industry took a hit that you haven't quite recovered from yet. So that feels like circumstances out of your control. I honestly don't think that you do anything to hinder your growth and hinder your goals. And that's not me being like, oh my God, no, like you did nothing wrong. Like you're perfect. It's not you. Like I'm not being like sugarcoaty about it. I'm genuinely like this feels like circumstances out of your control or people imposing their crap onto you. I mean, I guess I could say like an inability to stand up to someone that could be hindering you, an inability to be assertive, or like a fear of being assertive, or a fear of removing yourself from certain environments or certain dynamics. What could be hindering you? We also have the Queen of Wands in reverse. The Chariot in reverse and the Queen of Wands in reverse. Impatience is the word that's coming to my mind, but it's more like, I feel like there's this part of you, I wanted to say like a tired old soul. It's like the fatigue of being mature. I don't know, the fatigue of being the bigger person, where it's like, yeah, I could fight for my vision. I could fight for my craft. I could fight to have my creative voice heard, but I'm tired. Like, I don't want to have this conversation. I don't want to have this argument. I just want to go home. It's like, this feels like the energy of someone who's going into work and they feel like their creativity is being flattened and they just don't even have the energy to do something about it because they're just tired and they're like, what's the point? Like, I'm not going to start arguing with my boss who doesn't know the first thing about what I do and tell them why like they're wrong, or tell them why this is a better idea, or tell them, no, I actually want to express myself in this way. Like, maybe there's a defeatist, but I mean, are you wrong? Like, because I feel like you know your situation best. You know the people that you deal with. And it's easy for me to be like, why don't you just try talking to them? And it's like, you've probably already tried that. And at this point, you're just like, whatever, I'm just gonna do what they want me to do and I'm gonna go home. Like, I don't want to deal with this. It's fatigue. It's being worn down by life on earth. Being worn down by life on earth. So you are channeling something from non-earth. And yeah, this is not your fault. Like, it's freaking tiring, man. It's tiring. That's why your soul family has been dispatched. We gotta go get you. Okay, I said we, so there's more than one. But anyway, let's see. What needs your focus right now? What needs your focus? Okay, we have a card that fell on the floor. But yeah, I'm feeling fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. I'm also feeling Cancer and Capricorn. We have the King of Wands coming out next. The King and Queen of Wands. It came out in reverse though. And then we have the Knight of Swords. What needs your focus right now? The King of Wands and the Knight of Swords. I feel like this is all about people. Finding your people, finding your community, and kind of talking to people outside of your bubble, because you need to know that the experience that you're going through, while you're not alone in this experience, it's also not the norm by any means and doesn't have to be the norm. Your spiritual team is warning against creating stories in your head of, oh, I guess this is just how it is, because it doesn't have to be this way. This doesn't have to be the norm of being a creative like you. This doesn't have to be the norm of working in the profession that you work in. And if you talk to people outside of your bubble, you will find that people have different experiences. And there are people who are very much enjoying life and thriving and experiencing freedom, doing the same thing that you do. Just like it's a different setup for them, different dynamics, different people. Yeah, networking, mingling, meeting people outside of your bubble, outside of your usual circle, whether that's in person or virtually. And realizing that there's so much freedom waiting for you. There's so much freedom waiting to be claimed if you open up to it. Things do not have to stay this way, and they will not stay this way. Your focus is freeing yourself, and that's going to happen through people and connections, through the right people who show you that a different way of life is possible. Yeah, that's a really straightforward message. So finally, we're going to get 2 messages or 2 pieces of advice from souls of your choice. So if there are specific souls you would like to hear from, whether that's a spirit guide, your own higher self, perhaps a soul family member, because we've been talking about them quite a bit, or the soul of someone you admire, whether they're incarnated on earth right now or not, just keep them in mind as I'm shuffling. If you prefer, you can also wait to hear what the messages are and then sort of determine who the message feels like it's from. But yeah, if you do have specific souls, now is the time to set your intention on them so we can get messages or advice from them. We have from soul number 1, we have Moonlight and we have Justice in reverse. And right away, I'm hearing that your concept of justice has become a little bit skewed. And I think I'm gonna draw again. You're the only group that I did this for, by the way. So I wonder if there's a lot of visual artists in this group, or if you're clairvoyant. Oh, here's the pen. So we have Justice. So this is like, on this extreme of justice, it would be like, it's so skewed in your favor. You get everything you want and like fuck the other party. The other extreme is you don't get anything you want and they get everything. And then in the middle, there's like this fair, like a fair middle ground where there's compromise, and great, that's good. But over time, you have had to yield to the other so much that where you feel like, oh, this is normal, this is fair, this is balanced, even that is still in the other person's favor. Does that make sense? Like it's like you've gotten so used to getting the short end of the stick that, I just saw 4, 4, 4, 4. You've gotten so used to getting the short end of the stick that when you even get just a little bit of favor in an agreement, you think it's, oh, this is fair. Even if it's like they get what they want 90% and you get what you want 10%. Your inner scales are like, oh yeah, this seems fair. And your spiritual team is like, hell no. Hell no. It's totally skewed in the favor of the other or the other party. So when you start to get fair treatment, you're gonna feel like, oh my gosh, I'm being spoiled. Oh my gosh, you're gonna let me do all that? Like I can do all this? And I feel like that's the same with freedom. It's like you've been cramped in a tiny like closet for so long that when you get a normal sized room, you're like, oh my gosh, this is huge. I can do so much with this space. Like, this soul is not happy. It's not like they're not happy with you, but whoever's fucked with your sense of justice, it's like I hope do you realize this about yourself? Like, I feel like it's always you who's making concessions, I think is the word, who's always like yielding to the other person. Like, okay, yeah, fine, we can do it your way, we can do it your way. No. This is Burger King. Sorry. It's time for you to have it your way now. Group number 3, okay? Okay? Yes, and I do feel like there's a relationship coming in, or like it could be friendships if you resonate more with like a platonic thing, where you're gonna get to, I don't know if take the lead is the right word, but the person or people you're with like want you to do what you want to do. I don't know, does this like go back to, do you have Libra placements? Is this like the role you played in your family, where like you're the one who has to make sure everyone's happy? Because the people coming into your life will not accept you to treat yourself that way. Like, you gotta look out for what you want. I want you to do what you want. That will make me happy. Okay, what's your message or piece of advice from soul number 2? The King of Swords with a giant butterfly behind him. That's immediately catching my eye. Kind of spooky how big it is, if I'm being honest. You, like, what are you doing? I feel like, I'm not saying that as a judgment, but I feel like you're kind of, again, I'm seeing you in a space that's too small for you. I feel like you've outgrown it. You are really, really, it's like talented, but there's like an intelligence that comes with it. So maybe it's, you have a really good sense. You're a genius. That's the word. You're a genius. That's the message from this soul. And I think there's just some situations right now that don't really allow you to flex your genius muscles. And you're not gonna lose it. You're definitely not gonna lose it, because that's part of who you are as a soul. Somehow my ears feel cold right now, which is interesting. Usually they feel hot, but it feels nice and cool. That's actually very nice. It's like a calming presence. It's just that certain things in your life may not allow your genius to really be seen and really be experienced. And, you know, don't get me wrong. It's not like you're obligated to share your gifts with everybody, even if it's just for yourself. That's valid, but they do want to be expressed at least. And I do think they want to be seen because they'll inspire others. And honestly, your presence is so powerful that I think the people who are meant to find you will find you. And the people who are meant to resonate with you will resonate with you. The people who are, oh, that's really cool. The people who are meant to be inspired by you will be inspired by you. We're going back to the drawing board. the work that you may put out right now, maybe for reasons outside of your control, you have to fit it into this box. But people who are attuned to your frequency will look at this box and see what you wanted to do. People who are attuned to your frequency will look at this box and see the whole shape. They'll see the whole shape compressed into this box. Others may not, but people who are attuned to your frequency, so like your soul family, your soul group, even like your larger soul group, they will see it and they will be able to find you and connect with you. You know, we say a lot, or maybe I just say this a lot, like, you should show up in the world as your authentic self because that's how your soul family will find you and recognize you. But I feel like your frequency is so powerful that even if you show up in the world as this kind of modified version or this kind of watered down version, your soul family is gonna recognize that shit. They'll be like, oh, there's group number 3 hanging out in that box. Let's go, boys. Let's go get him out of that box. That looks uncomfortable. They're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel your frequency. And I hope that there's a bit of comfort in that. Like, obviously it sucks to feel restricted in the 3D, but regardless of how you may feel restricted, just know that your frequency is getting through where it matters. And to the people to whom it matters. People recognize your genius, group 3. I recognize it. Anyway, that's the message from this soul. So, those are all of your messages. Love my little drawings. Anyway, thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And don't be shy to leave your socials or somewhere we can find your work down below if you feel called to do that. I will leave my links as well, as always. You can check out my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my memberships where you can see the extendeds that we do here on this channel. You can also see full-length exclusive pick a card readings. So I'll have that link down below, and my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, to everyone who appeared in this reading, to their higher self, and to your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.